Hey everyone, and welcome back to Historio. Today, we're diving deep into a fascinating question: what are the true roots of American society? We often hear about the founding fathers and the revolution, but the story goes back much, much further. The United States wasn't built in a vacuum. It's a complex mosaic, pieced together from the ideas, laws, and cultures of ancient societies. So, grab your thinking caps, because we're about to travel back in time to uncover the 5 ancient societies that secretly shaped America. First up, let's journey to ancient Greece, the cradle of democracy. Ever wonder where the idea of government by the people came from? Look no further than Athens. Think about it: town hall meetings, voting for officials, citizens having a direct say in their laws. The Athenian concept of democracy, where citizens participated directly in the assembly, planted a powerful seed. Of course, their version of citizen was very limited. No women, no slaves, but the core principle, that power should rest with the people, was revolutionary. America's founders, men like Thomas Jefferson and James Madison, were obsessed with Greek political philosophy. They studied it intensely, adapting the idea of citizen rule for a large, modern republic. So, every time you vote, you're participating in a tradition that stretches back thousands of years to the sun-drenched hills of Greece. Next, we march onto the mighty Roman Republic. If Greece gave America its democratic soul, Rome gave it its legal and structural backbone. The Romans were master engineers and, more importantly, master lawmakers. They created the concept of a republic, a government where citizens elect representatives to make decisions for them. Sound familiar? That's the American system in a nutshell. The U.S. Senate is even named after the Roman Senate. Roman ideas like the separation of powers and checks and balances were designed to prevent any one person or group from becoming too powerful. The founders saw the wisdom in this and baked it right into the U.S. Constitution. The Romans also gave us foundational legal principles, like the idea that you are innocent until proven guilty. Their intricate legal codes and emphasis on a structured, durable government provided a blueprint for a nation built to last. Now, let's switch gears and travel to a place you might not expect: the Haudenosaunee Confederacy. You might know them as the Iroquois. Long before European settlers arrived, this powerful alliance of 6 Native American nations, the Mohawk, Oneida, Onondaga, Cayuga, Seneca, and later the Tuscarora, created one of the world's oldest participatory democracies. Their great law of peace was an oral constitution that established a federal system, uniting the nations for common defense and policy while allowing each to maintain its own internal governance. Benjamin Franklin was incredibly impressed by their political structure. He observed their councils and wrote about the wisdom of their union, even suggesting the colonists should adopt a similar model. The Haudenosaunee system of representative government, with its emphasis on consensus and balance, offered a real-world, homegrown example of how different states could unite under a single, cohesive government. Its influence is a vital, though often overlooked, piece of the American puzzle. Our 4th stop takes us to England during the Enlightenment. This is where many of the philosophical sparks that ignited the American Revolution were first struck. Thinkers like John Locke changed the game with his theories on natural rights. He argued that every person is born with the right to life, liberty, and property. Does that ring a bell? Thomas Jefferson directly adapted this for the Declaration of Independence, famously writing life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This was a radical idea, that rights don't come from a king or a government, but are inherent to every human being. Another key development was the Magna Carta from 1215. This document, forced on King John by his barons, established the principle that nobody, not even the king, is above the law. It laid the groundwork for concepts like due process and trial by jury, which became cornerstones of the U.S. Bill of Rights. This English heritage of limited government and individual rights provided the immediate intellectual framework for the American experiment. Finally, we arrive at our 5th and perhaps most profound influence: ancient Israel. This might seem surprising, but the cultural and moral landscape of early America was deeply shaped by the Hebrew Bible, or the Old Testament. The Puritan settlers who came to New England saw themselves as a new Israel, escaping persecution to build a promised land. They drew heavily from biblical law and morality to structure their communities. The idea of a covenant, a sacred agreement between the people and God, and among the people themselves, was central to their worldview. This concept of a binding social contract influenced the Mayflower Compact and later, the Constitution itself. Furthermore, the biblical emphasis on justice, ethical behavior, and the idea of a single, higher moral law that applies to everyone, rulers and citizens alike, became woven into the fabric of American civil life. This moral and spiritual foundation provided a powerful sense of purpose and shared identity for the fledgling nation. So, there you have it. The American story is so much richer and more complex than we often realize. It's a tapestry woven with threads from ancient Greece's democracy, Rome's republican structure, the Haudenosaunee federalism, England's philosophy of rights, and ancient Israel's moral code. Each of these societies contributed essential pieces to the great American experiment. Understanding these roots doesn't just give us a better grasp of history, it helps us understand who we are today. What other influences do you think were crucial? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching Historio. If you enjoyed this journey through time, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss another deep dive into our shared past. See you next time.